So we're seeing here the power of the cross, way before it came to an actual play. But God always knows the end from the beginning. So He's preparing everyone, preparing His people, preparing His believers. And He always, as I said in many of my teachings, always follows the same pattern. God doesn't change His ways of teaching. God doesn't change His ways. He always does the same thing the same way. We have to pay attention how God operates. Once we realize how God operates, everybody's in, yes, brother, come on in. Everybody is in a good shape. We did announce it. So now, we understood about the branding, about the work, about how God is actually going to brand His believers that He has, His evangelists, before the catastrophe continues. Verse 4, Sister Catherine, in Armenian, please.
Լսեցի գնքվածներուն թիվը 144,000 գնքված Իսրայելի որդիներուն բոլոր դողներեն.
Thank you. No, not yet. Brothers, verse 4, please.
And I heard the number of them that were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Were sealed. Amen. So now, here, again, another very important details, which we're going to see it in the 5 to 8, the continuation of verse 5 to 8, in more elaborate details. And the reason God is taking this much time and this much energy and this much ink to write in details who and why these 144,000 are. So we don't have this question, and I don't understand how is it that the Jehovah's Witnesses and many others today think that they are the 144,000. Apparently they never read this chapter, or in their book, this particular verse, or this chapter is not even there. I don't understand it. But anyway, let me just continue in detail. Here we see 144,000, which many groups claim, as I said. And we have children of God. There's a group called Children of God. They claim they are the 144,000. Jehovah's Witnesses, they claim they are the 144,000, which basically they filled it up back in 1932 or 33. After that, I don't know, whoever came in, I guess, tough luck. So if you became a Jehovah's Witnesses after 1935, given a few extra years, you're no longer part of the 144,000. So I don't know where you're going to go. Good luck. And also the Seventh Day, the Adventists and the Mormons all think they are 144,000. Many of these cult groups, whatever you want to call them, so-called believing styles, they claim to be these 144,000, but the Bible clearly states who they are. Especially we know, as Christians, we are no longer on earth. So, as Christians, we know we're not the 144,000. As believers, as born-again Christians, as Christians, we are not the 144,000. Because why? Why, gang? Why, brothers and sisters? Because we're not here. Thank you. Because we've already been raptured. We're in heaven. We're not here, so we cannot be part of the 144,000 because we're not here. We are in heaven. So we are not, we know for sure we're not the 144,000. Let's move on to the next group. So, because we're not here, in heaven. So, feasting. And we go to, so the replacement theology as perceived does not work. So we see that, as I was saying earlier, there's this, back in early ages of Christianity, before 1944, before 1947, before the state of Israel kind of came back into play, re-existed basically, for a long time, a lot of Christian groups thought that they did a replacement theology. What they did is they said, God's done with the Jews. He's done with His original, covenant. He has a new covenant. He's done with the Jews. He doesn't have nothing to do with them no more. Now we are. So they replaced themselves into that God's bride, a God's new covenant, meaning that it's replacement. You see, God has an old covenant and a new covenant. He's not replacing anything. God didn't get rid of the Jews, He just put them on a sideline. He said, okay, you're not behaving, so sit for a while. Sit over here and wait until your time comes. Because you're not behaving well, because you're not playing well, I'm going to put you on the sideline. Just like a basketball player, a famous basketball player, I don't know the name, but let's assume any good basketball player, and he plays every game. But for a few games in a row, he hasn't been playing well. So his coach will do what? He doesn't get rid of him, he's still a star player. He benches him, he tells him, you're going to go sit for a while. Sit for a while. Sit for a few games, let's see what happens, and if I need you back then, hopefully you're back in your game, I'll bring you back to play. So very simple analogy here. Christians, the church is not replacing Israel. We are not here anymore. These are Jews. These 144,000, no questions about it. It says it right here, they are Jews. It says it right here, children of Israel were sealed. So it's them, it's Jews, it's about them. So now we're going to see exactly who they are. Verse 5 to 8. Sister, read them all the way through. We're going to see all of them. You get the whole game. The 12 tribes, give it to me.
Հութային ծերեն 12,000 գնքված,
Boom, boom.
Ռուբենի ծերեն 12,000 գնքված,
Boom, boom. Allez, you know, with the sim. Continue.
Քաթին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Ասերին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Նեփտաղիմին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Մանասեին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Շմավոնին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Ղևիին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Իսաքարին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Զապուղինին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Հովսեփին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված, Penyaminին ծերեն 12,000 գնքված.
Amen. Brothers, from 5 to 8, please read me all the tribes.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephthalim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Ishkar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000.
Amen. Thank you. Now, as earlier we heard it in the Armenian, like we were doing in the Old, we were doing the Armenian, the Old Testament, and there I was speaking about Jacob and his sons. Remember, between his two wives, actually between his four wives per se, yeah, 2 wives and 2 maidens, he had all these boys collectively. So as we know, those are the tribes of Israel. Who's Israel? It's Jacob. God changed his name from Jacob to Israel. We know, so now we see Israel's 12 tribes, which is the 12 sons of Jacob, which could make the 12 tribes of Israel, which makes the nation of Israel. Okay? Are we following? So now, we see God specifically, so there is no confusion and question or allegation, names each and every one of them. He names each and every one, so there's no people, that's what I'm saying, I don't know who doesn't read this. If you read this, you cannot say I'm the 144,000 if you are not part of these tribes.